I've been making aviation videos for about 5 years now. And over the years, I've traveled all over the United States to many airports and private landing strips. Almost everybody has a story to tell and is excited to share it. I follow social media like a hawk to try to find the coolest aircraft to bring to you each week. So after chasing aviation for 5 years, it's time to make a few changes. It's raining. You're stuck inside. Normally I'd say for a YouTuber or video editor, what's the big deal? But if we're honest, it does slow us down a bit. And if you work in aviation like me, well, there isn't much to capture on camera when it's raining. But if you're a glass half full versus half empty kind of person, like me, you have to see the silver lining on these days. Capture this slow motion moment to reflect on what you created in the past and how much more creative you can be in the near future. For me, taking a break to consume versus create oftentimes gets the mind going again. But not before grabbing a bite to eat. I mean, hey, who can be creative on an empty stomach? If there is any food in the house. Now, your idea of consuming content might look a little different than mine, of course. I might watch a little Trent. It's Ryan, Bucket Cub. Mixed in with little Mike Patey.
Hey guys, a lot of you have asked about turbulence.
Catch a little bit of the Taking Off channel.
Running jet engine. The update on.
And for a few laughs, you've got Marcinko.
Holy cow, it's been a while.
But all the aviation content is good content. Hey guys, alright, so it's been a minute. In fact, it's been more than a minute. It's been like several minutes, like several months since I've given an update on the channel. Going on 5 years now. This July marks 5 years since we started the channel. 150,000 subscribers. Thank you for that. But I thought it's time for an update. So I'm out here at my airport, Foxtrot 95, Calhoun County Airport is where we call home. And it's right before sunset, so I'm going to catch the sunset with you guys today. But that's our airport. And stick around, we've got several things to talk about today. Okay, so a few things we're going to talk about today. I've got 1 to 5 updates for you, right? We're going to talk about the airplane. Everybody wants to know about the airplane. Give you a quick update on that. Channel update, a second channel update, yeah. A podcast update, which of course that would be a third channel, I guess, at this point. And how you can get involved to help out with Experimental Aircraft Channel. All right, so where are we at with the Zenith? All right, as you can see, it's still sitting on the gear. The fuselage is ready for all kinds of things. I've been working on the wings, and specifically the spars. Everybody knows probably by now, I chose to scratch build certain portions of this airplane, and those were the wings, right? So I'm building the spars from scratch. One of the spars is nearly completed with the solid AN rivets. There's a couple more left to do here and there, but that's almost done. I'm going to get a start on the next one. So in the next few weeks, my spars will be done, and I'll be able to get the wings put together. On top of that, I did go, as you all may have seen, a video to Zenith and picked up my firewall forward kit, which was a huge milestone in any builder's timeline of building, is picking up that firewall forward kit. So that is sitting in a box over here with literally everything needed to install the engine. I was quite impressed actually with everything that was included in that. Everything down to like nuts and bolts and hardware kind of stuff. It's all very inclusive. So good job, Zenith, on making a very complete kit for that. So otherwise, just done a little bit of a shop cleanup here recently to organize and make a better workflow. I've been working on repairing. I built one of those Dave's brakes. If you guys don't know what that is, look that up on Google. Just Google Dave's brake and you'll find plans, free plans on how to build up to, I think mine's an 8-foot brake, bend your own metal. Bend your own metal in the shop. So I unfortunately used a little bit too thick of a metal at one point in time, and I used a smaller diameter piano hinge to make mine. And long story short, that hinge separated and it created kind of like a banana effect into the aluminum. So I had to drill out that piano hinge, and I've done that, and now there's just a few more extra rivets, and I'll have another new to me brake again to bend metal. We are partnering with great companies like Dynon Avionics at Dynon.com, Airtech Coatings at AirTechCoatings.com, Clemens Insurance at ClemensInsurance.net, South Mississippi Light Aircraft at FlySMLA.com, Foxtrot 95 Calhoun County Airport at FlyFoxtrot95.com, Edge Performance at EdgePerformance.no. Take a moment to go visit their websites at the links found below in the description of this video. And visit our website at ExperimentalAircraftChannel.com for events, our video library arranged in easy-to-find playlists on specific topics, and so much more. So next up is where are we at with the channel? As mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, 5 years in, actually this month in July marks the 5-year anniversary of me starting this channel. It's been a long, fun, exciting road, let me tell you. I'm still happy to be doing this. I feel blessed to be able to do what I do as a full-time job in aviation, doing exactly what we all love to do, is build airplanes. And even more importantly than that is a community that we have, and be able to meet all of you in person and see the projects that you guys have going on in your hangars, garages, kitchen counters, all across the nation and across the world when you share that on social media. As mentioned, we've got 150,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for following along and making this possible. Old Red over there, my Ford, has now seen 267,000 miles of cross-country navigation to all of you guys' homes and events and so forth. So lots of oil changes and tires and brakes. Actually, brakes need to be done right now. But it's been a very loyal and reliable truck over the years, and hopefully he'll keep on trucking on. That brings us to Channel 2. What is Channel 2, Brian? Well, if you guys have followed me from the very beginning, we actually did start a second channel to do something a little bit different paired with this channel. And with having young kids and all that, it just seemed like a little too much to manage. And we also were taking a different direction with it. So if you go right now, take a pause of this video. I want you to go search on YouTube for Chasing Aviation. It's written all over the side of my truck. It's been on the side of my truck since day one, pretty much. So I've been kind of softly advertising it. But now we are going to officially relaunch Chasing Aviation. It was originally going to be something to do with the whole entire family, kind of like behind the scenes where we're traveling and going to visit everybody. With everybody being, so little, it was kind of hard to travel with the kids. So we kind of gave that up very early on and sold the trailer. So now, Brian, what is Chasing Aviation going to be about? Well, you guys know that we have super niched down into the experimental, light sport, ultralight, and new tech technology in aviation. And that's what this channel is all about. And that's what this channel is going to remain about. But I want to get into a little bit broader things. There's several people that I've talked to that own experimental, and they're kind of like, well, why aren't you giving me any love? I own this Cesstar, I own this, whatever it is, right? It's just not experimental. It's like, well, try to be true to the brand and stick with experimental. But I'm missing out on a lot of stories out there, right? A lot of unique aircraft and people. So we're going to go a little bit broader with Chasing Aviation. This is what we're going to cover. We're going to cover pilots, we're going to cover their airplane, whatever it is. We're going to cover their house, where they live, specifically, hopefully, like an air park or a private grass strip or whatnot, and what kind of car this pilot drives, right? Now, if it's, some beat up old Chevy truck, we might not cover that because we're partial to Ford. No, just kidding. But I think you get the point. But I myself want to get into the other half of our family, and that is people that are flying certified and just the lifestyle of being a pilot and being in aviation, whether it's an aviation community or whatnot. So go over there right now, Chasing Aviation, subscribe, like, ding the bell, all the things. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to warn you right now, there is absolutely no content there just yet. Absolutely none. But we're going to be working on that in the next few months, and the release schedule will probably be at this point 2 a month. I'm going to work towards having 2 a month, but go ahead and kind of as a pre-subscribe, let's get this new channel going and get over there and subscribe right now. So next up is the third channel, or I'm now calling it the third channel because of Chasing Aviation is the second channel. Anyway, we have a podcast channel. Yes, it's on YouTube as well. If you look up EAC Aviation Podcast, EAC Experimental Aircraft Channel, that is the video portion, of course. We also have the audio portion that can be found on iTunes and Google Play and Podbean, a couple different ones there. I'm going to start that up again. I am in the process of building out a new studio, brand new studio here at the airport. Show a clip of that here. So one thing is we are moving. Don't pay attention to this mess, this messy mess. We're collapsing everything, and it's time to get into a new office for what? So after Oshkosh, gonna work on getting that up and running again and start scheduling some more interviews so we can get a voice of aviation out there as well, doing interviews and talking to people all over the world and keep engaged with our community across the planet. So if you're not aware about that, check out EAC Aviation Podcast on YouTube and search for it in Google Play, iTunes, and Podbean. And we're going to start promoting that again on our social media with Instagram and Facebook very soon. So how can you get involved with the Experimental Aircraft Channel, EAC? Guys, I've been doing this for 5 years now. We've got a few sponsors that have been a great help and a great asset to what we're trying to accomplish by getting more people involved in experimental light sport and ultralight aviation, get them into kit building, working with their hands and their families and these projects that are very much family oriented. But at this point in time, it'd be great if we had some more people to help fuel that truck, right? So what I'm gonna do is launch a Patreon account. In fact, we have launched a Patreon account. So if you go to Patreon right now, it's patreon.com/experimental aircraft channel. Put all that in there and you'll find us. I think we have one patron. Thank you for that. There's a couple different tiers, but basically, bottom line, the purpose of that is to fuel the truck, right? And cover some expenses of the background here of basically cameras, which, you know, I'm ashamed to say, this camera that we're talking on right now is the same camera that I started with 5 years ago. It's time to look through a new lens, right? So if you could, help us out there and follow along through Patreon to help support the channel. It'll be much appreciated and give us the freedom to be able to do a lot more things. I've got more ideas I want to share with you guys as we go along, but that'll really help. And the other thing that I'm looking to do is a couple specific projects that I'm going to put out there on social. If you're not following us on social, on Facebook and Instagram, I'll be posting that there. But special projects, I'm going to start doing some GoFundMe projects that you guys can help out with there. And I think what I'm going to do is put out some topics or ideas, and maybe you can vote on it, and we'll figure out, you know, some type of system for that. And then whatever one wins, or maybe however much money is spent on each one, is the one that we'll go after. So if you want a specific topic of us to do an interview or how it's made or tour, we're going to put some of those out here really soon. I know that I'm based on the southeast, east coast here, and I haven't reached many of you guys on the west coast. For that, I am sorry. Trying to work that out through this process of getting some more travel to go to the west coast and other places. A lot of great companies, a lot of great people that are building aircraft, and we need to reach you as well over on the west coast. So the goal we're looking for with Patreon is to get 1%, a very modest 1% of our 150,000 followers to contribute to help pay for some of these things. So another thing I want to talk in closing here in this video, you saw that the beginning of this video is a little bit different style and all that. And you know, we've been doing this for 5 years, and I've read and watched several things about business, and they say about every 3 to 5 years it's good to reinvent yourself, right? Well, here we are, here at the 5-year point, and I think it's time to do a little bit of reinventing. Some of you guys have commented very recently, you know, don't change what isn't broken. Thank you for that. Thank you for the vote of confidence that you're liking what we're doing. But just to keep it fresh for me as well, I think it's time to do a few things. So we're going to work at that. A little bit different style, maybe a couple different cameras, and maybe I'll even jump on in front of the camera a little bit more often these days. But through that same thought topic, I'm thinking through what else we could do here, and I've kind of struggled with, over the past couple years, where to lean, right? I started this off wanting to be completely 100% like an online video magazine and be a digital entity and that kind of stuff, which is what we've done, not wanting to do an actual magazine. And then there's the YouTuber side of it, and being an influencer. And I feel like we're somewhere in the middle, but maybe we need to pick a side. So I don't know, we're going to lean a little bit more towards the YouTuber side. Tell me what you think in the comments below of which direction you think you'd like to see us go. I know which direction I think I'm going to go, but let's hear what you have to say. In addition to that, I've been thinking, do we need to have something in print? I know a lot of our followers, the demographics, I'll look at some of that. I don't really pay attention to all of it, but some of that I do pay attention to, and we have a lot of 65 and older and 55 and older that are still liking to read things. Now, I'm not much of a writer. I'm a visual learner. I like to put things in video, of course, but there are a lot of people that do like to read. So what I'm thinking about maybe is doing a little bit of a mix of that. Not so much a magazine where there's lots to read, but maybe a few little highlights and doing a completions magazine. Tell me what you think. Let's figure this out. And there's that sunset we're working on.